Hello and welcome to Winchester Now. I'm Mary Blaxland. On today's programme, we reflect on an exciting bank holiday weekend as Winchester celebrated our new king. Street parties, light shows and communities coming together. We have our news roundup, shout-outs, and we step back to the 1970s. Watch out, Frank Spencer's about.
Winchester Radio.
Winchester celebrated the coronation of King Charles III in style. There were community events in many of our local villages, including Easton, South Wonston and Sparsholt. Many neighbours came together for street parties. At the Guildhall, an impressive light show projected photos of the King onto the front of the building. There was street entertainment, and at Winchester Cathedral, the coronation was broadcast on large screens. Many people travelled long distances to watch the service in our historic building. What did you think about the service today?
Yeah, it was really good. I felt like I was there, to be fair. Really enjoyed it.
How far have you come to watch it today?
From Stoke-on-Trent.
What's brought you to Winchester?
Well, we came to specifically see this cathedral, and we thought we'd just enjoy the atmosphere whilst we were here.
A lot of pomp, a lot of ceremony, enlightening, and something I will probably never see again in my lifetime.
And what did it mean to you to watch it here at the cathedral?
I'm not a religious person, but I felt it was the correct surroundings for it, perhaps, to sort of emulate what was going on at Westminster Abbey.
What did you think about it?
Amazing, it's lovely. Really good atmosphere down here. This is why we came. We've come from Bristol, so we've come down particularly today to see it. Yeah.
Why was it so important to come here at the cathedral?
It's because I think it makes a difference to be with other people as well, to see it as a whole rather than sitting on your sofa and watching on telly, so it's beautiful. It's been a wonderful day.
And what did you think of the coronation?
Perfect. We do it better than anywhere else, don't we? So absolutely perfect.
What does the coronation mean to you?
It seems like it's all about celebration, if I'm honest. My mum's decorated the whole house. We've got flags up everywhere, and there's a fete in Kingsworthy on Monday, which I'm going to with some of my friends, which I'm quite looking forward to.
And what do you think watching the service here?
It seems like it's a community event. There's lots of people here. It's quite interesting seeing all the spectacle and all the traditions. I feel like that's quite big in this country, but I never really realised it before today.
It was a wonderful ceremony. I appreciated how they brought a whole different religions into it and a different face. And it had a lot of history, and it was wonderful to see. We live here now, but we're originally from the United States, so it was nice to be living here during such a momentous event.
What did you think about the service?
Oh, it was everything I thought it would be. Yeah, very beautiful.
And how important was it for you to watch it here at Winchester Cathedral?
Oh, very important. I mean, I think it's always good to be with lots of people and not just be isolated in your home.
No, I think like everyone, we all thought it was wonderful, yes. You could have been in Westminster. Happy.
What did you think about the coronation?
It was wonderful, colourful, very, very moving.
And where have you come from today to watch it?
Toronto, Canada.
What's brought you here to Winchester Cathedral?
We were coming anyways for a visit, and we thought we would piggyback on top of the coronation so that we could watch it in a grand place like this.
Across Winchester, the bunting came out as street parties were held. Tony Knight joined residents in Weston and Fairfield Roads.
Joy Carter.
And how long have you lived in Weston Road?
Since I was 8 years of age. We've been together since the last coronation.
Did you watch yesterday?
I did.
And what did you think?
It was absolutely brilliant. No one else can do it like the British can. We were outside the cathedral in 1953. We didn't have a television in our house in those days. I just thought the whole thing was so well organised, and everybody appeared to be so happy there.
Alan Carter. We were holding hands together outside the cathedral.
Loved it. I love all the tradition and all the pomp and ceremony, and it's just a nice way for communities to kind of come together, even if they're not massively royalists, just to get together like this, meeting neighbours that you haven't maybe spoken to before. So yeah, it's great.
Hello.
Hello.
Tony Knight from Winchester Radio.
Oh, yes.
You've got two sun hats on. You're optimistic,
I know.
aren't you?
Yes.
Is tea coming later on?
Oh, I expect so. I can't imagine that my daughter's going to let me get away with just having a lunch.
It's how you can engineer the sort of making the gap smaller between the lunch and the cream tea, isn't it?
Oh, it is very true. But I've had a very nice ice cream as well, because the van was up the road.
Hello.
Hello.
That's very nice. I'm Tony from the radio. Are you enjoying yourself?
Hello, Tony from the radio. Are you having a good time?
So what are we all doing here? It looks very industrious.
Oh, we've got some colouring, some sticking, some cookie decorating,
Yeah, we've got some lovely activities, and we've got lots of children here dressed in unicorn outfits and king and queen outfits. So.
You're making memories for years to come.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we'll remember this forever.
We've moved on now to a very long Fairfield Road, and everybody's enjoying themselves with glasses of Pimm's and all sorts of things. What did you think of the actual coronation? Did you see it?
No.
Well, that's true.
I watched it from beginning to end, every single second.
And what did you like in particular about the coronation?
Well, the whole pomp and circumstance of it all, the kind of tradition.
We do it so well, don't we?
We do, even despite the rain. In fact, the rain makes it all better, doesn't it? Because, well, not better, but
it's better for being indoors, unless you're going to have a street party on the same day.
All royal occasions involve rain, don't they?
They certainly do.
And this one didn't disappoint.
Well, while many street parties enjoyed good weather, the rain came down on Hat Fair in the square. But that didn't deter the acts or those watching. There was singing, comedy and walkabout performances in the city centre. Andrew Loretto is the Hat Fair director for Play to the Crowd.
We really want to, bring joy to the streets of Winchester through Hat Fair. This is a bank holiday weekend. It is the coronation. It's a, unique event, and we wanted to celebrate what Hat Fair does as part of the day on the streets of Winchester.
And also bringing a bit of joy with this awful weather.
Yes, we're looking at more than one type of rain today. So yes, but the crowds are coming out despite the weather. Hopefully they'll persevere and get the brollies out and just have a great day. And they can always nip into a cafe or a pub nearby and then enjoy the work as well.
And of course we've got Hat Fair coming up, haven't we, later on in this year?
We have. So Hat Fair 2023 is coming up on Friday the 30th of June and Saturday the 1st of July. It's a smaller Hat Fair this year because we've got less funding this year, but we hope to build up to a bigger festival again for our 50th birthday in 2024 and our 50th year, in fact, 2024 to 25. But the Hat Fair, despite being smaller this year, it'll have the same range and diversity of work, commitment to local artists, young people, older people, different community groups, international work, hatters of course, and some innovative new commissions as part of the weekend.
Yes, we covered the sad loss of the funding for the Hat Fair, but you must be really pleased that it is able to happen in some shape this year.
Yes, I won't pretend it's been an easy job to pull it off, because the timing of the sadly us not getting our MPO funding was late in the day for the festival, so everybody at Play to the Crowd has worked really hard to find alternative sources of funding to make a festival happen this year. But it was very late in the day that we got some of that funding confirmed, like literally just a few weeks ago. So it's great that we are able to do a festival this year.
It's got a big place in people's hearts, hasn't it, here?
It really has. And I know for certainly a lot of Winchester and Hampshire residents, it's one of the highlights of their year in terms of a weekend that explodes full of joy and colour and energy and diverse voices. I think Winchester, and actually I think the UK, would be poorer without Hat Fair, because Hat Fair holds a very unique place nationally and internationally in the outdoor arts world, and I think Winchester and Hampshire should be really proud to be the host of one of the UK's longest running outdoor arts festivals. So we look ahead, we look forward to the future, and we hope to do big things for our 50th birthday year next year.
Winchester Radio.
Other news now, and a landslip has caused problems for rail passengers. It happened during torrential rain and hailstorms on Tuesday and left a large amount of soil and debris on the tracks. The line was blocked between Winchester and Basingstoke. A shortage of bus drivers also meant only a limited rail replacement service could run. But it's not the only challenge facing passengers this week. With that and other news stories, here's Steve Walker.
South Western Railway passengers are being warned to only travel on Saturday if their journeys are absolutely necessary. It follows nationwide strikes by the RMT union. Long-planned engineering work in the Winchester area also means there will be no services between Basingstoke and Southampton Central. ASLEF union members are also taking action on Friday and next week. This affects depot drivers who bring trains in and out of service. South Western Railway says services may be reduced and passengers should check before they travel. The Liberal Democrats have increased their majority in Winchester City Council. They now hold 30 of the 45 seats following the local elections last week. Meanwhile, former Winchester MP Mark Oaten failed in his bid to return to politics. He stood as a candidate in South Gloucestershire, but missed out on a seat in the council. More than 5 million jabs have been given out in Hampshire and the Isle of Wight since the COVID vaccination programme began just over 2 years ago. Doctors say it's an important milestone and have praised staff and volunteers from surgeries, pharmacies, hospital hubs and roving clinics for their efforts. 75,000 people have been vaccinated since this year's spring campaign was launched last month, and booking remains open to those eligible until the end of June. The popular Munch Community Cafe at Unit 12 in Winnell is closing this Friday. It was set up 2 years ago by husband and wife team Mary and Denzel. They say the decision was made after a lot of careful thought and consideration, and they have thanked customers for their support. They're now concentrating on their catering business. Profits support their community cooking program, which helps children and vulnerable adults develop their skills and make nutritious meals. People will brave the elements on Friday night to sleep out in the cathedral grounds and raise money to help the homeless in Winchester. The evening includes entertainment from Integrate Dance, building cardboard shelters, a bedtime reading, and food from local businesses. It's supporting the charity Trinity, which helps people experiencing homelessness move into independent living and employment. Last year, £26,000 was raised. And that's the news from Winchester.
Hi, I'm Paul Blitz, and it's time for this week's Community Shoutouts. We start with a big thank you community shout out to all the volunteers locally who gave their time, planning and expertise over many weeks and months to organise street parties and events this last weekend, all so people could come together as a community and celebrate King Charles III and Queen Camilla's coronation. None of these lovely events and opportunities would have happened without the sterling work of those volunteers. And our local Worthy Down-based Royal Logistics Corps has taken to Twitter to express their thanks and gratitude to all the marching contingents who represented their regiments at events over the coronation weekend. More than 9,000 members of the UK Armed Forces took part in ceremonial and supporting roles for the coronation. And a shout out to all those shortlisted in this year's Winchester Business Excellence Awards. The shortlist was announced last week and includes local charities, Emmaus Hampshire, Winchester Go LD and Winchester Street Reach, all in the social enterprise and charity category. The winners will be announced at an awards ceremony in June. And the members of Winchester Go LD have also been honoured at a special evening for their work in helping everyone travel in confidence on the railway. The 4-month project involving South Western Railway and the Hampshire Community Rail Partnership has seen members improve their skills and mentor other groups of adults with learning difficulties. They've also produced videos with a step-by-step guide on how to travel by train. They were presented with certificates for their achievements during an event at the Platform 1 Cafe at Shawford Station. We'll have more shout-outs for you next week.
Winchester Radio.
Now, he was an icon and much-loved character in the 1970s with his mishaps and famous Mac and beret, and Frank Spencer is back. The Worthy Players are performing a stage production of the hit TV series Some Mothers Do Have 'Em to return to their 70s roots, as this year the Amateur Dramatics Group celebrates its 50th birthday. Here's director Martin Pettigrew.
Such an iconic show. Everyone remembers Frank Spencer, don't they? And what are the challenges of putting this on?
Well, I have to say this has been possibly the hardest set that we've ever had to build. We've had to add on extra set build days. We've had more people contributing to that as well. We've even had to build a staircase. We've had to build a kitchen. There's various things that happen, aka what used to happen on the TV series during the production. So yeah, it's been a really collective effort for this one.
And Frank Spencer was well known for all his disasters and things going wrong. How do you recreate those?
Now that might be a secret, so it may be a case of saying to the audience, if you want to find out that one, you need to come along and have a look.
How do you think the audience will react? There was always a lot of love for Frank Spencer, wasn't there?
Yeah, do you know, it's really tricky when you're doing rehearsals because you're never quite sure how the audience are going to actually receive what you're putting on. But the way we view it is that this is so iconic and there's so many things that actually are familiar but not, and there is a proper story to it as well, which is another thing to add. So I actually think the audience reaction will be good because it is contemporary in the way it's been rewritten for the stage in the last 5 years.
And for you as a director, how are you feeling about it? Approaching opening night, are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling excited? What are the thoughts?
We've just had a very good rehearsal tonight, so I can fairly say that I'm probably feeling less stressed than I have been up to this point. But in all honesty, the cast are really beginning to come up to the mark now, and we've still got 4 more rehearsals to go until first opening night. And hey, we'll have an audience, which always, produces its own inertia and adrenaline from the actors as well.
My name's Dave Alderson. I joined the Worthy Players about 7 years ago.
And tell me a bit about the Worthy Players, and it's an important year for you, isn't it?
It's a fantastic year, a celebration of a milestone of 50 years. People come, people go, but the Worthy Players goes on forever, it seems.
And tell me about some of the productions you've done over those 50 years.
In the early days, they were very concentrating on music halls as well as pantomimes. More serious plays and comedies came in later on. Nowadays, we mostly do a comedy play once a year and a pantomime at Christmas.
Tell me a bit about some of the celebrations then for this anniversary.
Well, we've decided that we would commemorate it with a booklet. We're very lucky in that we've got Richard Aldous, who's our archivist. He's got thousands of pictures of previous productions, and we capitalised on that by using a lot of the pictures in our booklet, together with a lot of anecdotes and telling people what goes on in the club. We're having a party in the summer to which a lot of people who have been associated with the club are invited. And then in Christmas, the pantomime is going to be Dick Whittington, which celebrates the fact that 50 years ago, Dick Whittington was the first pantomime we ever did.
And a bright future ahead for the Worthy Players?
I hope so. We've already got people planning ahead for 2024. Certainly a detective story, we think, and a pantomime again.
Well, it's curtain up on the 19th of May with 4 performances over 2 weekends. And if you'd like more information, visit theworthyplayers.co.uk. That's all for this week. Many thanks to all those who've taken part in our programme. And until next week, goodbye.